Okay, thanks Jeff, and thanks for the opportunity to present, and thanks for everyone attending today. So my name's John Wilson, Director and Co-founder of Hydi Hydrogen, of on-demand system, as Jeff said, which we have focusing on the heavy industry of diesel equipment, so diesel engines. What we do is we don't replace the original diesel, but what we do is supplement it. So we supplement it by introducing, our unit will manufacture hydrogen on demand, so there's no storage, and we introduce it via the air intake system, because with combustion, you need obviously fuel and air. So we're replacing a minuscule amount of air, as you'll see if you come around and have a look at our unit on display. That is one of our bigger units there. But as we all know, heavy industry has a serious problem, and a lot of focus doesn't go on to heavy industry. It's generally more around energy, etc. So there's no direct replacement for diesel engines as heavy industry. The transition to fully electric or alternate fuel sources is at least over 15 years away, with and even longer with bigger assets. So high fuel costs, diesel fuel represents a significant portion of operational expenses in heavy industry, with increasing costs further straining budgets. So Jeff did mention we do reduce emissions, but it's a two-pronged product. So we'll also reduce increase the fuel efficiency due to the cleaner burn of the engine. Carbon emissions, diesel engines are major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. We don't remove all the carbon emissions, but we remove carbon monoxide, dioxide, CO2, DPM are the four major emissions that we reduce in what we've done with testing. So we've been established, this project started back in 2013. We have commercialised in 2021, where we've got about 400 units out in the marketplace currently. Other problems, as well as the regulatory pressures, increasing ESG regulations and fines aimed at reducing emissions for heavy industry. So we are finding now that we are getting a lot of inquiries from the bigger construction companies that are working with the three tiers of government, looking to improve or to get their tick of approval to reduce their carbon footprint. Increasing costs of diesel, rising global oil prices contribute to escalating diesel fuel costs, further impact profitability for heavy industry operations. Research we've done, that you can find anywhere, is that diesel engines will maximise at around 2035. So there's still a long way to go with diesel engines. So that's our smaller product there. We have five products or five models in our range. Part of the IP of our product is that it's critical that you get the sweet spot of the engine for the efficiencies for lower emissions and fuel. There have been opposition over the years that have just put a whole heap of hydrogen in there, and you lose the efficiencies such as fuel reduction as well as reduction in emissions. Another feature of ours is it runs on demin water only. So there are, again, and there's not much opposition around the world, but they use an alkaline base such as sodium hydroxide for conductivity in the water. So we have found, and we started with this up until 2016, and we knew that there'd be an issue with mining companies, etc., and civil companies handling this product to put into the tanks due to the nature of sodium hydroxide. Its construction is 316 stainless steel and also mould steel, which we're just introducing as we speak. It's compact and easy to fit. That unit there, as you'll see out there, it's a horizontal out there, but that's around about 670 mil in height, 300 in depth, and 270 in width. So the efficiency of the product as far as hydrogen's produced, if you're talking about your typical 15-litre engine, it will use around about 1 litre of water every 35 hours of operation. So it is extremely efficient. So, and if the water runs out, it's programmed at a certain level to shut down. It'll just go back to running on pure diesel. So as I said, it goes into the air intake, pre-turbo. We have no storage again. Remote monitoring, accessible via smartphone. We have just introduced our first satellite data downloading equipment this week. So people can download, or customers can download the information as well as us, such as if they log into the ECU or hardwire into the ECU or CAN bus. These are a couple of some case studies we've got here. So Wholesome Cement approached us this time last year in regard to purchasing some units for some brand new V8 Scanias that they have running up in Newman in the Pilbara. And you can see our unit on there fitted to it. So they purchased 4 of them. They purchased two of our units, and they had them following side by side. And you can see the effect that it's had. 80% lower diesel particulate matter, CO2 reductions, 15% reduction on fuel consumption. So if you're talking a return on investment, some of these return on investments could be anything between 3 to 4 months, depending on the hours of operation. And this is also a case study with Scania as well. So Scania have been heavily involved in this as well, and continue to support it, whereas there's a director coming out from Scandinavia next week, I believe, to go and visit the Newman site. We have Mineral Resources, one of the large companies that's been in the paper recently from a few other matters. But they've got around 200 of our units on their off-road haul trucks. As you can see there, they've got 3 and 4 tandem trailers. They're carrying anything up to 330 tonne with a 15-litre Cummins engine. So they're smashing the engine. But that's just to give you an idea of what they're using. 15% fuel saving. Fuel usage per day is 2,000 litres, 300 litres per day. Annual saving 102,000 litres per truck. And the carbon saving is 49,000 or 50,000 kilos. And this one has just come to us just recently, a case study with Lang O'Rourke, another construction and infrastructure company. They've done a case study on this Caterpillar loader here. And as you can see down the bottom, it's saying that it's got a reduction of around about, well, it doesn't tell you, but the reduction is around about 19.8% in fuel. So fuel saving also represents an emissions reduction, irregardless of what emissions it does with a cleaner burn. So on top of that, you will also receive a cleaner burn. So that's it.